What's up, guys? Teddy Cornwell here. Oh, welcome to the Underdog Talk. And there is just something about the Underdog. But today, we have an absolute beast on the Underdog Talk. We'll get into this interview. You know I have to give this man a proper Underdog Talk introduction. Hailing from Chicago, Illinois, today's guest is widely regarded throughout the powerlifting world as the greatest powerlifter of all time. This gentleman has set over 71 world records in powerlifting. He became the lightest person to cross the 2,400-pound barrier in the powerlifting total, with a sum, which is a sum of 3 lifts: the legendary deadlift, bench, and squat. I mean, I am proud and honored to present the GOAT, the one, the only, Mr. Ed Coan. What is up, sir? How you doing today?
I'm always good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, an honor and privilege to have you on that. And then, Ed, before we even get into this interview, I have to ask, is this true that at 10 years old, sir, you were lifting 170 pounds?
I never heard that, but I will say that the first time I did walk in a regular gym before I started high school, I deadlifted 435.
Wow.
And I probably weighed 130 pounds. Nah, maybe, yeah.
Oh.
No, less. Because my first year in high school, I wrestled at 98 pounds. So yeah, I would probably say it was about 120 or 25 pounds.
These little birdies must have been telling me stuff just to hype you up.
That's all right. It sounds cool.
It does sound cool, and to be honest, I still believe it. I think you're just being modest, but Ed, I really want to start from the beginning. In fact, your first ever powerlifting competition, sir, was the 1984 IPF World Champions. I mean, in Dallas, Texas, where you just had an absolute phenomenal total to start. 200-kilogram bench, 347.5. Got to add that 0.5 kilogram deadlift. But Ed, I want to ask you, why powerlifting? And then really, when did you fall in love with the sport, sir?
I played all kinds of sports when I was a kid, of course. And I did try bodybuilding for a while, but then I saw Kaz on TV when they used to have powerlifting on TV years ago. And on one of the main stations too, like Wild World of Sports or something. And I started thinking, well, wait a second, you could be that big, that strong, not have to diet like a maniac, and not have to pose up on stage. And I kind of took to it really quick.
You know, that sounds pretty darn good. You look good, you lift big weights, you get the girls, and you don't have to do the crazy diet. I mean, I think that sounds like a win to me. And obviously, it did pay off, and is throughout.
Yeah, and then when I started, I took to it like a duck to water. It was just me.
Yep.
And it worked.
Yep. And then obviously, Ed, I'm going to say it kind of worked, because throughout your active career in the international powerlifting competition, again, I have to add it, you set over 71 world records in powerlifting, and you became the lightest person to cross that 2,400-pound barrier. But I mean, I want to know, what was the work that went into these records? Because obviously, you weren't the biggest guy, you weren't the heaviest guy. So what was the work that went into getting these achievements, Ed?
Well, I did take my time, and I think the key was that after every contest, I went back and I laid down a new base of different exercises that I was weak at that would complement my other lifts. And I never didn't do that. And I enjoyed that part more than anything, because that meant I was getting bigger and stronger in the right places. So then when I did go back to the regular competition style, squat, bench, and deadlift, I felt so strong. It was unbelievable. And right away, that's such a positive thing for your mind that that was my drug.
And I mean, Ed, wow, what a career. Now, I always like to ask this. What was that one lift that stood out to even you where you're like, holy shit, did I just get that up? I know you have so many, but what was that one that you were like just blown by?
I think it was I deadlifted 901 at our nationals one year, which was run under international rules. So you had to have weigh-ins only 2 hours before the lift started. International judges, drug testing, all that stuff, and not we didn't have specialty bars, so it was the same bar for squat, bench, and deadlift.
Wow. And I mean, the sport has changed and evolved, obviously, as you know, that bar is a great example. And I mean, I think the sport of powerlifting is going in such a different direction now. And where do you see the sport of powerlifting going, you know, and where do you see it down the line?
I think they have to be careful because they're making some things a little bit too easy for the lifter.
Yep.
I think 24 hours weigh-ins have hurt it because guys can weigh in anywhere from 20 to 30 something pounds heavier by the next day. And some of the specialty bars, I think, are hurting it now because they give way too much an advantage and they help the lift a little bit too much than they used to.
Yeah, 100%. And then, I mean, who do you see as some of the top young guys in the industry? Obviously, and I got to give a quick shout out. Nick Best was on this show a few days ago, and he gave you the biggest shout out ever. He goes, I remember my first competition. I don't know if it was his first competition. He goes, I didn't really like, he was talking about how you stepped in and helped him the whole day. I was like, and he was just like, my jaw was just dropped. I mean, when the GOAT helps you, I was like, dang, that must have been a moment.
Nick is so easy to help because he's probably one of the nicest guys in the whole world. I've known him for like 35 years or so. And he hasn't changed one bit as far as his personality. He's the same guy, which is odd to see because he's attained a really big level of success, especially when the TV show was on.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But no, he's such a good guy. What was the question again?
Sorry, Nick Best, you're the guy. We love you. But no, Ed, who do you see as, you know, the top new
okay. Well, in one federation, drug testing and stuff without the specialty bars, there's a guy named Art Atwood,
Yep.
who at like 160 something pounds squats, I don't know, mid 6 or almost 7, benches 450 or so, and deadlifts 750 or something like that. And that's with drug testing and no frills. On the other side, there's a few guys that are phenomenal at regular, just certain lifts. But then you got a guy like John Hack, who's pretty damn good at everything and a phenomenal bencher and deadlifter. So yeah, there's always going to be good guys. That's just progression, and it's just, you know, whether or not they can last a long time is the key.
100%. And then, you know, I always like to ask this, especially to the different sports. Obviously, the sport of powerlifting has become so much more, you know, mainstream. You know, you can now watch it on TV. You know, you now know the people who are doing it. I mean, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing for the sport being more, you know, mainstream?
It's a good thing. First of all, people are held accountable because more people see it. So they see if the rules are being enforced, like, you know, depth in the squat or hitch deadlifts and stuff like that. And the notoriety is never bad because most guys are pretty cool in powerlifting. At least the ones I go across. So it shows that they're just a bunch of guys, meatheads, that love to lift a ton of weight and have fun doing it and get along. It brings more money into the sport, more opportunities for some people, especially with their social media accounts and what they sell and programming and stuff like that. So people are actually making a really good living off it now. I don't see anything not positive about it at all. People people are doing squat, bench, and deadlifts all their lives for other sports. They didn't just realize they were pro powerlifting, exercises.
100%. I think the sport of powerlifting is definitely going in the right direction. Obviously, I've had bodybuilders who are on their show who think bodybuilding is actually going in the wrong direction because of social media and that mainstream aspect. Because I think powerlifting itself is definitely going in the correct direction. So Ed, what is next for you? Are you going to continue being in the sport? Obviously, you always are, but do you see yourself being more of a coach? What's next for you, Ed?
I do like helping a lot of people. I don't sell programming or anything. I still have my old book, and we put it on Amazon as an ebook, but I don't really like doing programming and stuff because I'm really hands-on and I'd have to charge too much. So what I do is I usually just have people send me videos on IG, and I dissect them for them in a couple sentences and fix their shit for free.
Wow. What?
And I have another business opening up anyways in right over the border in Michigan. It's like an hour and a half drive. I have a cannabis processing lab opening up with some partners over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
A man of many talents right there. The one and only GOAT. Now, Ed, I finally like to end this interview, with you've seen it really all in the powerlifting industry. So what is your biggest, tip for someone who is looking to get into the powerlifting industry after all you've seen?
Two things. One is take your time. Mm-hmm. Because when you take your time, you learn more about you. You're not just copying someone and thinking that'll work, especially technique wise and also training wise, because you might not be able to handle the volume or whatever kind of training they do. But when you take your time and you learn more about yourself, you find the little nuances that are inherent only to you, where your strengths and weaknesses are. And when you learn that, then you build your own program, even though it's based on other people, because as they say, we all walked on the shoulders of the giants that came before us, and you give them credit. But you learn more about yourself, and you're able to last a lot longer period of time, because if you truly love what you're doing, whether it's powerlifting, bodybuilding, CrossFit, whatever the hell you want, if you take your time and you learn that, your base is stronger and you're able to last a long time. As Chris Duffin would say, you make yourself anti-fragile. And that seems to be the key, is just take your time.
Mm-hmm. I think that just sums it up right there. Trust the process, love the process. If you want it bad enough, you'll work your ass off for it. And that's simple as that. Ed Coan worked his literal ass off, and there is no question that he is the best to ever do it. Now, Ed, I like to get my guests out of here with some rapid fire questions. Are you game, sir?
Hit it.
Deadlifting or powerlifting? Wait, deadlifting or bench press? Totally threw me off there.
Deadlift.
Ooh, deadlift or squat?
Squat.
Favorite cheat meal?
Tacos.
Ooh. Go-to post-workout meal?
Just what Stan has me do is orange juice and yogurt mixed in a shake.
Stan Efferding?
Yeah.
He was on the show. The White Rhino, such a class act. Legend.
Yeah, smart guy. Great guy.
Oh, yeah, very knowledgeable. Have chicken legs and a huge upper body, or a small upper body and chicken legs?
Small upper. Oh, no, I'll have huge legs and a smaller upper body.
Yeah, I think that's the correct answer. I just can't. Chicken legs, no, sir. No, sir.
They got to hold you up.
Exact wisdom right there, ladies and gentlemen. The last two are big on the show. Talk like Rocky Balboa for the rest of your life, or have to box Rocky Balboa in his prime?
I'll box him in his prime. It's only gonna hurt for a short time.
You know what, Ed? And yes, it would hurt for a short time, but you are one of the only guests who I think might actually have a chance against me. I don't say that often, but sir, you are an absolute beast. And I think, would I put money on you? I put a little, but I still think you would have a shot. and I would love.
Well, he had a shot.
Wow.
He had a shot and took it and won. So anyone can have a shot.
And that's what it is.
There's something in the fight industry. It's in martial arts. It's will and skill.
Mm-hmm.
You can have all the skill in the will or all the skill in the world, but you can't fight when the pressure's on.
Yeah.
But you have a little bit of skill and a lot of will, and it's pretty dangerous.
Oh, and as we saw with Leon Edwards yesterday, KOing Usman, he had a lot of will and he just did it. That was a crazy fight. Final question. Now this is a big one. Pull-ups or chin-ups, Ed?
Wider grip chin-ups.
Ooh. I like the range on that. I love that. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, for one more time, we are talking with the GOAT of powerlifting, Ed. It has been such an honor kicking it with you. Before we go, is there anything you want to plug, sir? Where can we find your content?
No, you don't have to plug. I don't have to plug anything. I'm here for you to have fun and let everyone see what I have to say. I have an IG account, but I do a few seminars. I think in February next year, I do have a seminar somewhere in Maryland.
Ooh.
I'll let you know about that one.
All right. Can you at least tell us where the new cannabis facility will be and when we can get that stuff?
Buchanan, Michigan, right over the border from Indiana. And what we do is we process. And we do have a grow license. We break it all down, the plant down, and turn it into products for the stores. It'll be under a brand called Cushmaster.
Oh, I love that, guys. Stay tuned for that. And if it is legal in your state, definitely get some Cushmaster, because if Ed has his hand on it, it's a good. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I got to say it just one last time. I mean, the greatest to ever do it. The one, the only Ed Coan, the man himself. Guys, please don't forget to check out Ed's content. Follow him. First person to follow him. Send me a screenshot. I'll send you a box full of goodies. Please check out his highlights. I mean, those lifts are out of this world. I don't know how you did it, but you did it, and it changed the sport and it changed the world. The world is such a better place with you, Ed. Guys, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Until next time, guys, Underdog and a big motherfucking dog.